What a crazy week of football. We had Russell Wilson going down, a few other quarterbacks going down, and then, of course, the whole Jon Gruden situation ultimately ended in him resigning. These power rankings, man, a lot has changed. A lot has changed. So let's go ahead and get into it. But first, what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoy the content. And of course, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. And let me know where you think I messed up on these power rankings. Because I know there's going to be some hate here and there. But let's go ahead and look at last week's. Before we get into that, got a Mock the Mock coming out later today. So be on the look for that. Tomorrow, Alex and I do predictions for the NFL slate of games for week 6. So check out that. That's probably my favorite series on the channel right now. It's just so fun doing that with him. And then, of course, I got a Mock Friday. But let's get into this sucker. This is last week's rankings I had, right? I had the Cardinals take a big jump. They're the only undefeated team left in football, so makes a ton of sense. And man, and we could easily look at like teams that start out hot, like the Panthers, the Broncos. They're on losing streaks of their own. The Raiders, and a lot going on with the Raiders. Like, let's go ahead and get into this week's set of power rankings. We're going to start with 25 through 32. Texans, Jags, they're the worst teams in the league. They looked like it. I still feel the Texans. I know they put up a great fight against Bill Belichick and the Patriots, but I still think they're probably the worst team in the league, though they do have a win over the Jags. But I expected that. I expected that team to be really good to come out the gates. But still, it's a rookie quarterback in Davis Mills. It's going to be a roller coaster ride. You could say the same thing about the Jags, but I think Trevor Lawrence is just a better quarterback. The Jets, they drop a spot. One spot. Tough loss there in London, and you gotta drop them a spot because Detroit can't get a win, right? I think Detroit's playing a lot of teams close. That was a close game against Minnesota and the Vikings. The Jets, they got their offense is so slow to start. And it just didn't feel like the same team I felt like I watched last week. This team needs to be fast out the gates. Coming from behind, never want to do that. But yeah, I just had them, the Lions and the Jets switch spots. Dolphins, they're still terrible. For a moment, it looked like, hey, man, they got a close game against Tom Brady, the former AFC East quarterback. But then the floodgates broke open. He tossed 5 touchdowns, and here the Dolphins are. Tua, I don't know if he can return this week. I know he's expected to practice this week, though, from what I read from reports. So I don't know if that's a good thing. We still have no idea what they have in Tua. The New York Giants, man, they had a rough slate of injuries. Kenny Golladay left with, I think, a hyperextended knee. Don't know what the timeline is on him. You had Saquon Barkley, likely out for maybe the year. He's going to miss a significant time rolling on some of the guys' ankle, rolled his ankle in the process, but stepped on another guy's ankle, I should say. And then the concussion to Daniel Jones. Don't know how long he's going to be in concussion protocol. Don't know if he'll be good to go this week. So a lot of questions, and they end up losing to Dallas. So yeah, gotta drop him. Atlanta, they move up a spot because they got a win in London. The offense, it looked much better. I don't think the defense looked that good, but I still feel this is a really bad Atlanta team. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us can agree with that. Washington football team dropping 3 spots. Tough loss against the Saints. This defense it ain't what it used to be. The secondary is so exposed. I think we're going to see, hopefully, this team, if they need to change something. When it comes to that, Taylor Heineke, he's done a fine job in past weeks. This week just happened to not be his week. But right now, it just feels like this team it's just bad. They're better than a lot of bad teams, but that defense needs to step up. Then to the next set, The Chicago Bears moving up 2 spots. Big win against the Raiders, but still that offense didn't look like all that in a bag of chips. So there's not a lot of confidence in that Bears team. Or at least I don't have a lot of confidence in that Bears team. I would say this is where the tiers get separated, because I think this Colts team, best 1-win team in all of football. Best 4-loss team in football, however you want to put it. They put up a hell of a fight. I thought they were going to win that game early. Ravens end up coming back, beating the Colts in overtime, crushing loss. But keep in mind, this is the toughest part of their schedule. Opening with Seattle, with Russell Wilson, by the way. The Rams, Titans, Dolphins, and the Ravens. It gets significantly easier from here until they run into that blender that is Buffalo and Tampa Bay in week 11 and week 12. But they get the Houston Texans next week. They get the San Francisco 49ers, who might be without Trey Lance. They're beat up. They're hurt. Tennessee Titans, who they played close, lost 25-16. That's a Titans team that could beat anybody, but I think could lose to anybody. That's really how I feel about them. They got the Jets. Again, we talked about the Jets. Slow start on offense. Yeah. And the Jags. Not a great football team right now. So we could be in for what? If they go 4-1, then they're a 500 team again. I think that still puts them in a good spot to maybe get into that wild card. So we'll see. Pittsburgh Steelers, they get a good win. Big Ben. Man, this offense, man. It's so weird. So weird. It goes with the flow of Big Ben, man. If he's tossing them, if he's hot, then yeah, Najee can run. It opens up a lot for this squad. But again, it's a bit of a roller coaster ride. You're relying on a quarterback that's, let's be honest, past the prime. He's just waiting to go out to the field. And well, there's not a nice way to put this, but taking out back and Philadelphia Eagles looking a lot better. This defense, legit. I like the defense. I love how the secondary is playing. I love how they're starting to rely a bit more on Jalen Hurts' legs. I really think that helps the offense a ton. Big win against Carolina. Very encouraging moving forward, especially if they're going to challenge a very, very good Dallas team in that division. New England Patriots, they moved down a spot. You almost lost to the Texans. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what was up. But, man, not great. Not great. I had to bump the Vikings up a spot, man. I know, you're like, they almost lost the Detroit Lions. They don't have a win. That's a Detroit Lions team. Very gritty. Almost beat the Ravens a few weeks ago. They had a great first half against the Packers, and it all kind of fell down in the second half. Like, the Lions team's not nearly as bad as people make it sound like. That's a very competitive Lions team. The Texans came out and were surprisingly competitive. I'll just say that. And then I would say this is the next tier of teams here. Maybe I might rope San Fran in with like the Vikings, Vikings, Eagles, Patriots. I might rope them in with that, just because they're beat up, they're hurt. Trey Lance, rookie quarterback, might miss. He's week to week from what it sounds. So even if he comes back, like this offense, it's very limited in what they can do. I know Kyle Shanahan, dude, he's a brilliant play caller, but there's only so much you can do when you're kind of handicapped to an extent. That's what they are if they're afraid to really let Trey Lance just sling the ball. They're playing, how would you say this? They're playing not to lose, but not necessarily to win. The Seahawks, they fall. Not so much for the loss. Geno Smith looked pretty darn good. Outside of that, pick on the first play, for trying to come back, but that was rough. But he didn't look bad. I think they could probably sneak a few wins in, because Russ is out for like 6 to 8 weeks from what it sounds like. Can they stay in that playoff hunt? I think there's a chance. Just like Dumb and Dumber. You're telling me there's a chance. But Russell Wilson's a huge loss. That's why they drop here. Next slate of teams. I was going to say squads. The Las Vegas Raiders. You could say they fall more. I'm kind of like, I'm going to sit here and wait. Loss of the Bears kind of sucked. Offense didn't look great. Jon Gruden resigning over all that. I don't know. If you want to talk about the mumbo jumbo, you could talk about the mumbo jumbo. I don't really care to. I want to talk about where do they go from here from now. That's what I'm interested in. Special teams coach Rich, what is it? Rich, or is it Rick? Rich Bossisat. Oh man, I was practicing to say this name before. Basica? Mother trucker, dude. I was listening to this name, how to pronounce it, right before I came on. I get through 16 teams. I get here to the Raiders here at 16, and I forget. But he does have experience. Not head coach experience, but he's going to be the interim coach. He does have experience in the league, mainly under Jon Gruden. And we'll see how this team goes. I don't expect much to change in terms of how the offense is ran. So that might be a bright spot. We'll see. This Raiders team, they're trending down. Tough loss to the Chargers, and they come out and they're not even really competitive with the Bears. So we'll see how this goes, but it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. The Saints, they move up 3 spots. I feel like you're going to see the Saints in this middle area all year. Strap on. Put the harness down. It's the Jameis Winston roller coaster. He looked good against Washington. Denver, I'm not moving them anywhere. Tough loss to the Steelers. They showed some grit though after getting down early, of kind of like finding its way back into the game, but ultimately fell short. But yeah, Denver. I still think there's a good squad there, man. So I'm going to wait and let's see how they look this week. The Bengals, big mover even after the loss. They quite easily could have won that game if it wasn't for a few blundered field goals, you know? So Joe Burrow, everything checked out. Yeah, they thought he may have had a throat contusion. Everything checked out. Looks like he's going to be good to go this week. This is a good Bengals team. I think that defense is overperforming, and Joe Burrow is a good, if not almost great quarterback, man. This offense is deadly. Carolina Panthers moved down a spot. I didn't want to move them down too far because they do get CMC back potentially this week. So that could help change a lot. This offense could get back to firing all cylinders. We'll see. Sam Darnold had the real down week. Eagles, tough defense though. So again, another wait and see approach. Then the Tennessee Titans, they move up 4 spots just because really what the Panthers, Broncos, Raiders, Seahawks, they all lost. So they really move up by virtue of not losing this week. But I still like that Titans team, but I said it earlier, man. This is a team that could lose to anyone but beat anyone. So it really depends on what Titans squad we see week to week, man. Are we going to see that them we're going to come out and we're going to have a good game with the Jets. Or not. This is a good squad. This is a good team. Once they get back healthy, they had A.J. Brown back this week. That was huge, so we'll see. And then I would say this top 10 is legit a tier. Like, they're better than the rest of the league, hands down. Got the Cleveland Browns. They're not moving down. They're not moving up. Tough loss to the Chargers. Really felt like they should have won that game. Didn't end up going that way. Heartbreaking loss. They had a heartbreaking loss at the beginning of the year against the Chiefs. But hey, this is a good defense. They were without Clowney in that Chargers game. So that was huge. But man, this is a good Browns team. The only reason the Chiefs are ahead of them is because the Browns lost to the Chiefs. But the Chiefs, man, they're trending down, dude. Tough. Bad loss to that Bills team. I can't help to think that I would say it was a pretty poor roughing the passer call. That it should have been 3-and-out going the Chiefs' way for them having a chance to make it a 1-score game, and unfortunately it didn't go that way. See, Gojo's so distraught about it, man. He's a big Patrick Mahomes fan. You see he's got the hair, the kufi up here. Yeah, dude, it's all right, man. Y'all got Washington. Y'all should blow that team up. They can't. Their secondary is almost as bad as yours. Oh, man, you are forever a Chiefs fan now, huh? As a Dolphins fan, that hurts. My dog's a Chiefs fan. Bandwagoner. But yeah, tough loss, dude. That defense is a big, big liability. Daniel Sorensen, man, I've been saying it for like 2 years now, man. Great locker room leader. Liability in coverage, man. And he was just blown up in that Buffalo game. It was unfortunate. So let's get to the top 8. A lot of guys move, a lot of teams moving down simply by virtue of, well, there were some big wins by a couple other teams. So I got the Packers here at 2. Again, winning after missing a few field goals. So quite easily could have gone the other way there in Cincy. This defense, it's hurt. It's not playing well. They still got Aaron Rodgers. They still got Devontae Adams. That means they're still legit. They got Aaron Jones back there. So, yeah. Rams, they get the big win, but you almost lost to Geno Smith. Like, come on. Come on. But, yeah. I mean, they got the win. I still think this is a very good squad. But, man, that offense is a real run hot, run cold type of offense. They're streaky. I'll say that. They're streaky. Dallas Cowboys, I want to move this team up more. I have a lot of faith in this team. I'm so used to, I know, Dallas, they typically, year to year, they always have high expectations, and guess what? They never achieve them. It never comes to fruition. I feel like this is a great offense with a defense that's overperforming. They're playing well. They're playing really well. They play in a weak division. I like this Dallas team a lot. Dak, he's like, yo, I'm kind of legit. They're getting the run game going. Tony Pollard's finally like, yo, Zeke, you going to pick up the slack? He's like, I'm going to pick up the slack. Zeke's looking like Zeke again. I love it. I love it, man. And I want to move this squad up. And they might move up. Baltimore Ravens, they moved down 3 spots. I honestly thought they were going to lose to the Colts. Lamar Jackson's a great quarterback, man. He's probably one of the most dangerous weapons in all of football. And he showed that. He really showed that. You could only contain him for so long. And that kind of was the case in this game. But I moved the Ravens down simply because the Chargers and the Bills had really banger weeks. Same thing with the Cardinals. I move them down a spot, and they're the only undefeated team in football. But let me ask you this. Do you think they're better than the Chargers? Do you think they're better than the Bills? Do you think they're better than the Buccaneers? Because I don't. I really don't. Kyler Murray, man, they didn't look impressive this week. I know Kyler Murray was a little banged up, but still, that offense didn't look that impressive. And the 49ers, they were able to keep that game close. And that's a beat-up 49ers team. I don't know how much credit you want to give to the Niners. But, yeah, I mean, I got them here at 4. People will be mad, be like, oh, they're undefeated. They should be number 1. They ain't better than Tom Brady right now. No one's better than Tom Brady right now. Tom Brady's he's the GOAT. I hate saying that as a Dolphins fan. Chargers, wonderful win against the Browns, man. They were able to stay in this game. The defense was able to step up when it was huge, forcing Baker Mayfield to throw 3 consecutive incompletions, turnover on downs, win the game. You gotta love it, man. This offense, Justin Herbert's playing at an MVP level. I expected regression from Hurts, man. I said it at the beginning of the year. I was like, man, a lot of the categories he led last year, very volatile categories. Carson Wentz was the same way, his MVP-like year. So, and this is a guy coming into year 2. I still expected him to be good, just not as good as last season. And holy moly, nah, dude, the guy's legit. That's egg on my face. I'm willing to say it. So good on you, Chargers. I think this is a really good defense too. And let's be honest, this is a defense that's more so how the Browns was consistently getting yardage, how they were scoring consistently. The run defense is not that good. Honestly, they sell out. They sell out to stop the pass. That's this squad. However, they are susceptible to tight ends, dude. They are, as we saw with David Njoku. Like, they're susceptible to play action. I'm pretty sure I'm probably susceptible. Man, what a word. What a word, man. Words are tough. Words are tough, kids. Words are tough. But, yeah, like, the Browns, they did everything they should have on offense, and it was working. Defensively, man, they without Clowney, they were able to neutralize Myles Garrett. They did a good job. This is a good Charger squad. Brandon Staley's shown to be a very good head coach. I love Joe Lombardi in this offense. I love it. Bills, huge win. Going to Arrowhead and saying, Patrick Mahomes, you ain't crap. That's what happened, dude. Josh Allen. I think this is the first time Josh Allen has looked like the MVP that we saw from a year ago, that we saw last season. You might be like, whoa, no, he was tossing all these touchdowns in these games against crap teams like the Dolphins. I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm only going to say it. We're bad. I'm not impressed. Oh, you beat the Texans by like 40? That don't impress me much. I'm just saying. This impressed me a lot. This defense looked great. They were penetrating that offensive line for the Chiefs, constantly getting pressure. And Patrick Mahomes just didn't look like Patrick Mahomes. This is a good Bills team. I've underrated them all year. Maybe it was because I had a bias I didn't know I had. As a Dolphins fan, who would have thought? And the Patriots. Tom Brady. I know, Justin Herbert's playing great. Tom Brady's the MVP right now. No one's playing quarterback better than him in this league. They got one loss. It was a tough loss. A lot of it was because of injuries in the secondary. Sean Murphy-Bunting going down, rolling into that game against the Rams. Jamel Dean goes down early in that game. It was rough. Antoine Winfield, he's supposed to return this week. That's huge. Jamel Dean says he's starting to feel healthy. So they're starting to get parts back. That's great for the defense. The offense looks nigh unstoppable. Unless you face Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald, man, that dude's a tough task. But these are the rankings. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing. It's always much appreciated, much obliged. And until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.